I am Reverend Dr. Max. It's so good to be with you another time. I am so grateful to God that I'm alive and well, and I hope that you are too. I just want to let you know that I'm a pastoral and a temperament counselor. I'm right here in Stockbridge, Georgia, where I offer faith-based counseling. If you need any help during this crisis, this lockdown, please do not hesitate to connect with me. Know that I'm here for you and I will be helping you as best as I can. Let me ask you a question. Are you struggling, you and your partner, in your relationship? If you are, guess what? You guessed it, you're not alone. You know, there are many persons who are going through relationship crisis during this coronavirus situation, and it's putting a lot of stress on us individually, and even our intimate relationships are feeling the stress too. So today, you guessed it again, I want to talk with you about relationships and how they're being impacted during this lockdown period. This video, it's gonna be a two-part video because there's so much stuff to be that we can talk about with relationship. So I'm making this a two-part video, and in this part, which is part one, I will be talking to you about domestic violence, and I'll be sharing some alarming stats with you that you might not even be aware of. In part two of the video, I want to share with you 5 tips of bettering or how to better your relationship during this COVID crisis. So, you know, after several weeks of lockdown, are you finding that all that extra togetherness is quite overwhelming? If you are, guess what? You are not alone. I bet there are many of you who are feeling that way. So how do you maintain harmony and not drive each other crazy? Even devoted couples spending day after day in the same place, in the same space, they start to feel a little stir crazy. And not surprisingly, the time together could either make or break that relationship. And I'm hoping it's gonna make the relationship. We don't want any broken relationships. It is known that people who behave badly when they're stressed, when they're under stress, those people could be very dangerous in the relationship. And so what we can do is to ensure that communication is flowing, that it is clear, that is not misinterpreted, as this can actually be the cause for mistreatment in the relationship. Right? So we don't want to be mistreating each other. The Bible is clear, and it tells us to speak the truth in love and not harshly. Ephesians 4:29 says to let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, and that it may give grace to the one who is hearing. Proverbs 15 and verse 1, well known, tells us that a soft answer, it turns away wrath, but harsh words, it stirs up anger. And we don't want to be angry. Not right now. Lockdown. So you can see that communication is so important for the growth and the development and the harmony in our relationships. And so we should make every effort to ensure that it is taking place and that it is a two-way flow. Not a one-way street, guys. Two-way flow. Okay? So if you're under a great deal of stress, try to maybe step back and give yourself a break. And, you know, one of the best things you can do also is to seek professional help when necessary. And that's why we are here, guys. That's why you have us, counselors, we have therapists, we have the religious leaders, your doctors, a trusted friend, a family member. Find someone that you can talk to about your relationship issues. Okay. Before I get to some tips to help you to cope and to maintain your sanity during this pandemic, let's talk about domestic violence. I know this is not an easy topic. This one is a heavy topic, but it's needed, especially during this crisis. Domestic violence is a real threat during this time. And what even makes it more difficult is that a lot of it is not being reported at this time. People don't have the opportunity to call because guess what? They're home, locked down with the abuser. Yes, guys, with the abuser. Right? We have to take it seriously. We have to take domestic violence seriously. You must do whatever it takes to protect yourself and your family from the abuser. So let's look at some stats on the prevalence of domestic violence in the US. And I've gathered these statistics from the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence's Vision website. The first stats that I want to bring to your attention is that domestic violence is the leading cause of homelessness for women. It is also the leading cause of emergency room visit because guys, too often we're calling 911 because we don't have it together at home. Intimate partners, guys, intimate partner violence. It's primarily a crime against women. I'm not saying that because I'm a woman, okay? We know that because women account for 85% of intimate partner violence and men account for about 15% of the victims. So guys, you can see that there is a big disparity between the sexes based on the stats, right? This one was a little bit surprising to me to find out that the most unsafe place for a woman is at home. Can you imagine that? Your home being the most unsafe place to be? Your home should be a safe haven. It should be a place where you run away from the hustle and bustle of life, and it's your refuge. It's your place where you relax and you let your hair down and you breathe. But instead, for so many women, it's a place that has become a place of despair, of pain, and of suffering. An estimated 1/3 to a half of women are battered at some point in their lives. This is something, guys, something for you men to think about. 1/3 to a half of women are battered at some point in their lives. Right? Think about it, men. Think about the next time you're trying to hit somebody. And the next time you beat up a woman, you kicked, you punch, whatever. Many women are suffering in pain. And it's worse in this pandemic. And women, I say to us as women, I say to all of you as women out there, for you to be bold and to have a zero tolerance for domestic violence and abuse in your life. We need to stop it. Another stat says nearly 20 persons per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in this country. And during 1 year, that equates to more than 10 million women and men. And again, the majority here is women. The majority being women who are being beaten, kicked, punched, whatever. It's a lot of women. I know some men are in there, but the majority are women. On a typical day, there are more than 20,000 phone calls placed to domestic violence hotlines nationwide. Women between the ages of 18 and 24, and another stat says that women between the ages of 25 to 34 are most commonly abused by an intimate partner. Guys, young ladies, please don't be a beaten stick for somebody or a punching bag or something, right? Or young people, they are just being battered by these boyfriends or whoever significant other. We have to think of ourselves as good, worthy women who don't have to take this kind of abuse. Right? Another alarming stats that I found is that if a gun is present during the domestic violence situation, it increases the risk of homicide by 500%. Guys, I didn't say 5%. I said 500%. It's a 500% chance if a gun is present that somebody's gonna be killed, somebody's gonna be dead, something or both people are gonna be dead. But something serious is gonna happen. So guys, you know, we're all locked down. Many are just at home. Be careful with your guns. You know, don't get too trigger happy with them. Be careful with them. Put them where safely. Put them somewhere where they're safe and out of reach. Okay? When you take your partner's life, I mean, have you considered the consequences? When you shot your wife dead, have you considered who is going to raise your children? Who will care for them when you're in prison? Because one is dead and one is going to prison. Or both are dead. And who do they have? Guys, let us think before we act. Because our actions and our decisions have real consequences that could destroy not only our lives, but that of our family as well. Think about what we're doing, guys. 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men in the United States has been raped in their lifetime. 1 in 5. In women. Men not so much, but look at the stats. Think about that, guys. There's a lot of hurt people in our world. And the reason I bring up these rape stats is because sexual assault is a major contributing factor to domestic violence. And we need to stop it. We need to put an end to domestic violence. Listen to the stats. Almost half of female and male victims of rape in the US were raped by an acquaintance. These things that are happening, it's not being done by, you know, a lone person from that nobody knows, a stranger. Our family members, our co-workers, somebody in authority, somebody who has some power over us, it's somebody we know, right? And even more alarming is the fact that of these female and male victims, about 45% of the female rape victims and 29% of the male rape victims, they were raped by an intimate partner. I mean, that is sad. This is somebody who you've gone into a relationship because you love, you've dedicated yourself to them, your life with kids and everybody. You got married, you went through all this stuff. And yes, guys, your intimate partner could actually be guilty of rape. Your fiance, husband, spouse, partner, whatever you want to call them. Yes, they too can be guilty of rape. Around the world, 1 in 3 women has been beaten, coerced into sex, or otherwise abused during her lifetime. Guys, think about it. If I'm sitting here with 2 of my other ladies, my other girlfriends, one of us, 1 in 3, we have been beaten, we have been coerced into sex, or we have been otherwise abused, whether mentally, physically, spiritually. Yes, even spiritual abuse. Believe it or not. Right? So don't be surprised when you find yourself with hurt people. There are many in this world. Let's stop hurting each other. Let's stop hurting each other. So can you just even imagine during this shelter in place what is happening in many homes? How are you dealing with the confinement, the weeks turning into months of isolation? How is it going? Do you feel like you're losing your mind? Domestic violence is on a rampage. You're locked down with your abuser. Guys, the struggle is real. It's not a joke, it's real. Domestic victimization is correlated with a higher rate of depression and suicidal behavior, right? I spoke about depression in one of my earlier videos when I talk about mental wellness. You can check it out on my YouTube channel when you get a chance. While these stats may seem alarming to many of you, it's many women's day-to-day reality, men to a lesser extent, but women still have to look like all is well. They get up every day, they dress up, they go out, they're executives, they're doctors, they're attorneys, they're store workers. They're in all aspects of our lives. And you all come in to establishments and you expect them to be courteous and to smile and to be, just shower you with courtesy. But on the inside, they're dying. On the inside, they're thinking about, how am I gonna go home to that abuser that's waiting to make me into a punching bag? Let us be a little bit kinder to each other. Say something nice rather than always being, so rude. When someone don't go as fast as you think they should on the cash register. Be kind to people. Let us be kind to each other. Right? I know it's always hard to measure the scope of domestic violence, in particular during a pandemic, because families, they are essentially home and they are confined to their homes, where the victims, they can't easily escape the abuser. Because remember, some of us don't have work, we don't have school, don't church, we can't run out to volunteer somewhere, we can't run an errand just to get out of the house. We are there, can't escape. And so it also gives the abuser more opportunities to exert even more power and control over us. Guys, it's not easy. It is not easy. It's challenging. Right? And a sad thing is that some survivor, even when they think of the cost benefits in their minds about, they actually believe that sometimes tolerating the abuse is safer and it's better. When the alternative is, for instance, moving into a shelter. Because, if you have kids and right now with the coronavirus, you don't want to move into a shelter. So you might feel like, you're safer being in home with your abuser. Right? And that abuser will continue to take advantage of you. I mean, they might be the breadwinner. So you might not be able to get money because you might be laid off from work, right? They will take away credit cards. They will take away your debit card. They will take away your computer so you can keep in touch with your friends and family. They will take away your cell phone. All these things will be happening right there in your home, right? And so, the choices during this pandemic for someone suffering through domestic violence, it seemed like no choice at all. So you feel like you're held hostage in your own home. What do you do? Do you have a plan? I hope you have a plan. But if you don't have a plan, I'm going to help you with a couple tips for a safety plan that could, maybe help you out when this crisis is going on. The first thing I want to say to you is to have a phone that is always accessible and know what numbers to call for help. It's good to keep a couple numbers that you memorize, that you know from memory, because if you don't actually have the phone, you will, be able to get help or ask somebody to call this number for you. So always try to have a phone that is accessible. The second thing I want to say is to identify safe areas within your home. It's kind of sad to say that, but you have to do this. If you know that the gun is being kept in the bedroom or something, don't run into the bedroom when there is a conflict going on, right? Run to some other place where it's much safer. Because remember, I told you there's a 5% chance, if there's a gun present, that somebody's going to end up dead. And we don't want that. All right. You can let your trusted friends or your neighbors, if you have those, know of the situation and develop a plan and a visual signal for when you need help. For instance, you send them a text with a code word, and or you have a thing where you flick on your lights on and off or something to alert them that something is maybe happening. That is, if you're within that distance, to do that. Pack a bag. Pack a bag with your necessities, with your medication, with important documents, so that if you have to get out in a hurry, you're not trying to find things and where things are. Have a backpack that you can just grab and go if it gets too hot. The other thing I want to suggest is to teach your children how to get help. All right. Instruct them not to get involved in the violence, because we don't want the children to be hurt, but plan a code, like a code word, to signal to them when to call 911. For instance, you might want to say, to little Johnny, when mommy says the cat is green, you know that it means call 911. I'm just making this up, guys, because you know what? Johnny knows that his cat is black, not green. So right away he knows the code word there is green, and he's gonna get on the phone and call 911 for help. So little things like that, you can work out something with your kids, based on their age and their ability to understand what to do. All right. If the violence is unavoidable, become a small target. Curl up in a ball with your face protected and your arms around each side of your head and your fingers interlocking or intertwine to protect, the blows. Yes, soften the blows and to protect yourself from getting hurt as badly as it could probably get. Guys, you have to do whatever is necessary and feasible at that moment to protect yourself and to protect others from the abuser, whether it's your children, your neighbor, whoever, right? Remember, domestic violence is real. This is real. People get hurt. So don't take it lightly. No human being deserves to be treated in this way, but it does happen. So guys, whenever you have the opportunity to get out and get some help, right? One of the places that you can go to get more information is to visit the National Domestic Violence website. You can call their hotline. They help victims and survivors of domestic violence. I'll put that information in the description below so you can have it. The other thing that I encourage you to do is to read your Bible. The Bible has so much information that can help us, practical information for our everyday living. Right? It's a place that you go to for solace, for peace, for comfort, for encouragement. Read your Bible. The word says to meditate on it day and night. As we do our best to navigate through this pandemic, I just want to remind you that self-care is so important, very vital. Take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, it's hard to take care of the rest of your family. Right? Your mental well-being is even more important as in times like this, and your spiritual well-being is even more important. So spend some time in the Word, spend some time in prayer, and reach out to your Creator who can help you, to calm you, and to sustain you during this time. Right? Guys, I said this wasn't an easy topic to talk about, but it's necessary. I'm asking you all to please stay healthy, stay positive. And if you need to talk, remember I'm here for you. Okay? Look out for my next videos. My next video coming soon, 5 tips to better your relationship. I'm sure I'm going to have some very good information for you, so check that out. And check out many more of my videos on my YouTube channel. I am Revdrmaxx on YouTube. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to share my videos with your friends and your family so they too can be encouraged and be informed. I thank you so much for listening to me this evening. I appreciate you. I enjoy making these videos for you because I know they're helpful to you and your family. So until next time, this is Reverend Dr. Max. I'm out. God bless you. Thank you. And you stay safe.